Come on, out of a cameraman!
Claude Cousson spent 18 years hiding under this very mask. For 18 years, Claude endured bruises, broken bones, and the rest of the physical sacrifices that go along with being a professional wrestler. With a career that took him from Stampede Wrestling to the World Wrestling Federation, known now as the WWE, Claude has seen it all and done it all in the ring. His journey between the ropes started as a bouncer who found his way into the late Stu Hart's basement and the infamous wrestling school known as the Dungeon.
You know, it was nice. Like, he trained. I mean, you got a big man, he's 300-some pounds, and all he does, he picks you up and throws you down for about 15 times, and he can't stop. If you stop, you're out. That's the Dungeon, my man. This is where you get hurt.
At the time, Stu Hart would train a group of wannabe wrestlers, and the top 3 would go on and wrestle in the Hart-owned and operated Stampede Wrestling. Claude finished 4th. Who made the top 3 in his class? Chris Benoit was one, Steve Blackman another. Despite not making the cut, a gentleman by the name of Archie the Stomper saw something in Claude, and with a little more training, the Boston Strangler was born.
My gig was going to be the guy the most hated in wrestling you could imagine. You know, mouthpiece to everybody, like call them names and talk about their mother, their kids, or whatever you could make to hate you. And that's what I did. And he noticed right after my first gig, I was getting good at it to get people to hate me as much as they can. The more you get hated, the more money you make, the more picture you sell.
Sooner than later, the Canadian wrestling circuit would go through a dramatic change in the 80s as the WWF's Vince McMahon Jr. would purchase Stampede Wrestling from the Harts.
McMahon bought Stampede, so I had to kind of retire the guys, whatever. So I kind of went through a program to retire the Boston Strangler. I lose the match, the belt, and my mask. So I went from there. So I took about a year off. And then I kind of went back, and, I couldn't go back as a Boston Strangler because it's the copyright for Stampede Wrestling. And went from there and said, well, I figure I'll go to Terminator. It's a name for bad guys. You terminate everybody. And
Claude would return to wrestling with his new persona and get a chance to work with the WWE. Claude was one of the wrestlers they used to put over their current stars back in the early 90s. Basically, the Terminator would wrestle one of their superstars and lose the match, making them look good in the process.
I was not a guy to be promoted, whatever. I go in the ring, get beat up for 5 minutes, and get out.
Not the most glorious job, but Claude did get a chance to step in the ring with such wrestling legends as Bret Hart, Scott Hall, Rick Rude, and Kurt Hennig.
These guys set their life to it, and I wasn't. I mean, it was just, to me, it was kind of a part-time thing, just on the side.
In the late 90s, Claude competed here in Saskatoon for a local wrestling federation and walked away in 1999 after an 18-year career. And in those 18 years between his 2 personas, he was never unmasked, denying his character and his career the closure it deserved.
But I think my wife's going to kill me first. But I wouldn't mind to do 10 sessions where I get a title and I lose my mask and just totally retire it. Like the Terminator didn't really get retired, I retired.
So will Claude get one last run as the Terminator? Only time will tell. For Shaw TV, I'm Curtis Anderson.